Hello, I am live. Hello, hello, hello. I am quite buzzy today about this topic because it's a topic that I really love sharing. I really love teaching, but really love sharing. And it's about selling in business when you're not a salesperson or you don't perceive that you're a salesperson. So, just in case you haven't noticed this, my name's Jenny Kovacs. I'm a visibility queen, known now internationally anyway as the Queen of Being Seen, and actually known as that since about 2010. Well, I started this business in 2010. So I thought I would share this because there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to selling ourselves, selling our services, and visibility has a very tight synergy to it. And I'm going to explain all of that as we go through. Now, I once got a really juicy project, a juicy piece of work from a very well-known brand who shall remain nameless. But I got a juicy project from them because once I did my own kind of like dig in to find out what they needed, where they were struggling and all that kind of stuff, I found out very quickly they definitely wanted to boost and enhance the reputation of the brand, I would say, but they also wanted some people to be able to sell their products and services and to almost identify sales when they were doing their other business as usual. Now, think about this for a moment. There's two ways to think about this. You might be somebody who works for a business and you're expected as part of your job to sell, but you're not part of the sales team, if that makes sense. Or you might be somebody that has a business and you're really great at everything that you do, and you probably do more than one thing. You probably do multiple things. I know if you're listening to me, a lot of people that I work with are polymaths, good at more than one thing. But you're great at all of those things until it comes to the part where you're offering your products, your services, inviting people to work with you, and then something just feels a bit, you know. So I wanted to share this today. Really, this is for you if you are that person that goes about your day business as usual, and your boss or your team or your director or your board or your colleagues are kind of saying, come on, we're doing our bit, where's yours? And also, if you have a business, whether it's just you in the business or whether it's a couple of people that you outsource and freelance with, or whether you've got a team of people that you're responsible for, and the people scratching their heads right now at the moment are likely to be at board level thinking, are my people fit for purpose? We need to make more revenue here or more profit or anything else. So this is for you. If this isn't you and you know somebody who I'm like speaking about now, definitely send them this link. There's two ways you can do that. I'm currently streaming this live on LinkedIn, so you can copy the link and send it to them privately, which is what I recommend you do. I know it doesn't make sense for a visibility specialist to say don't tag people in, but we don't want anyone feeling publicly shamed here. But also, you might be watching this on YouTube, and if you are, then number one, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then number two, just share this video as you would do with any other video that you would share on YouTube, through WhatsApp or through social media or through a text or however you would do it, email it, however. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with this. I've written a few words down to keep me on track. But here's the thing. Following that very first project, which is why it's so fond in my heart, which is a combination of visibility, combination of sales, combination of service, a good old customer service. Since then, I've gone on to deliver various different projects and work with individuals as well as people within businesses to help them do exactly that: sell the product, the proposition, the idea, the concept, the movement, the idea, the anything, even when they haven't necessarily thought of themselves as a salesperson. And when I worked with one particular team just earlier this year, one of the things that I realized is that people sometimes have like quite a nervous feeling when it comes to sales because of all of the things they've been taught and told around it. So I'm just going to go through like why it's important. And this quote, if you like, came from me listening to a recording of a mentor of mine that I've worked with like on and off since 2013. Sorry, I'm trying not to cover my mouth because I know that some of you lip read, so I keep doing that for some reason today. But I know that very many people struggle with this, and especially in this given time, you know, you business owners, you founders, you know, you CEOs, being in business to me has always been like a full contact sport. Being in business at the moment can, for many of us, feel like a full contact sport. We're kind of surfing 1 minute, boxing the next, you know, skipping the next, having the stamina and the tenacity the next. And it can feel a bit of a roller coaster ride. So I hope that what I share is useful and helpful and beneficial to you and your teams or the people that are working with you. And for the families of those people, please show them love and support them. You know, sometimes you say such well-meaning stuff to them, but it just deflates them. It deflates us. I've had things like that said to me as well. So, my mentor said, businesses don't make money unless they're making offers. And I was listening to a recording of something from a program I was in with them. And I must have heard this recording a gazillion times. I tend to re-listen to things again and again and again, like really embed it. But this time I heard it differently. And from that moment, it landed. Now, this might seem like, oh, really, Jenny, that's not rocket science, you know. But if you think about it, I've had so many people that I've had calls with and said, you know, I really need to get new clients. How do I get new clients? One guy said, I'm after some client acquisition, which is same thing. Some of you will talk about magnetizing your clients, attracting your clients. Either way, if you have a business and you're not offering your products and services, then you won't be making any money. I know this firsthand. I've done this myself, head down, working on something, and then literally months go by. And you'd think that I would have learnt my lesson the first time. The very first time I did this was in 2011. I hadn't even been in business for a whole full year. And I decided to make and create this program, which is a pretty cool program. But I remember, this is going to be a sad admission, New Year's Eve, I was making up my like CRM page and sales pages, and I continued with the project and getting all the nice worksheets and presentations and all of that together for 3 months. And in those 3 months, I didn't network. I didn't tell anybody what else I had available that they could buy. I didn't invite anybody to come and work with me. I had my head down. I was busy. And luckily for me at that point in time, I was a sole trader. I had the then husband to support me financially who was working. I didn't bring in a single penny. And as I say, I see so many people do variations of this. And you might say, oh, but we've got products and services. People know where we are and what we do. Sometimes they need reminding. So let's go through some tips to help skate out of these rather sticky spots that so many people have gone through. And the reason that I'm talking about this is I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly or, you know, send bad vibes out there. But a lot of people are currently sitting in this place of shame at the moment where they feel like a failure, or they feel too ashamed to reach out and ask for help, or they're ghosting and just completely shutting down. They're not speaking to anybody. So, you know, if you recognize yourself in any element of anything I've just said there, this, my friend, is for you, because I want us all to do better together. So if businesses don't make money unless they're making offers, what else could be getting in the way? Well, selling services, especially if you're working for somebody's business and it's not your job to sell, or you don't have a sales department, which I see a lot of. If you're working for someone's business, I want to talk about what sales are in the forms of tips, but I also want to say, and like explicitly express what sales isn't. And it's interesting because I know a lot of people that are connected with me on LinkedIn specifically are not just sales trainers. Some of them are sales trainers, some of them are sales professionals, sales directors and people like this. And you'll get this on a cellular level. The difficulty is having cascading, I guess, that information out to your team members. So whether they're a sales coordinator, whether they're part of the sales team, a sales manager, a sales director, so that they get this. So I'm just going to break it down into its simplest forms, because what I found is when we get under pressure, people often switch tacks, try harder. So here's what sales are not. Sales are nothing to do with force, coercion, or persuasion, because that really what's the word? I've just lost the word. That really insinuates that the person doesn't want the thing, never wants the thing, but you've got these brilliant linguistic skills and you've just managed to twist them around, turn them around, get their arm behind their back, push their head down onto the counter. That's force, persuade them that actually your thing is what they need. And that's not what sales is about at all. I'm going to have to put my glass on in a minute. Sales isn't about, so that's the first thing, force, persuasion or coercion. The second piece is sales is not about having the gift of the gab, being extrovert, being introvert, shy, or anything else like that. It's not about that at all. Number 3, and I hear this a lot, people kind of whisper it almost to me. Sales isn't about having a personality transplant or being a narcissist and being a horrible type of person. Number 4, sales is not about faking it till you make it. There's nothing to fake, and you make of it what you make of it. And the reason why I strongly, I'm going to say despise that saying is, when you are operating under the faking it till you make it, what actually happens is every part of you knows and screams, this is not real, this is not real. So everything you do, there'll be this underlying pushback, underlying resistance, which will make the thing seem doubly hard, means that you'll procrastinate all day and won't get round to doing it. And you will just do everything else other than that. And then you'll tell yourself you're unsuccessful, you're a bad person, you're rubbish at what you do, you're bad at business, you shouldn't be working for this company, etc., 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 etc. And it's not true. And then the other thing that you don't have to do is you don't have to be a certain type of person. Did you see me squint then? Because I didn't have my glasses on and I was like, what did I write there? You don't have to be a certain type of person. So again, this really kind of strings or sits very closely to the introvert, extrovert and all of that. But you don't have to be a certain type of person to be successful at sales. Therefore, I'm this type of person, so I'll never be great at sales. So those are all the things that you don't have to do. So if you've got those, literally on your metaphorical table, swipe everything off the table, give yourself a clean slate, because here are things that are going to serve you better. Now, there's a squinting, there'll be a squinting warning up, because I will be looking at what I've written and going like this, because my good glasses are over there somewhere. So before I move on to the things you do, and I've just gone through the list of things that you don't have to do or be to be great at sales, I want you to do something, not for me, not for anybody else that's watching, but for yourself. Some of those things may have resonated with you that I shared about. Maybe the forceful bit, you felt like you've always thought you've had to be really forceful or have the gift of the gab or be very eloquent in how you say things to be good at sales. Maybe you've thought you've had to fake it till you make it. Whichever one of those things or variety of those things that I've shared, where you've gone, do you know what, I think that's me. You don't need to type it here. You don't need to tell me unless you really want to. And I would suggest a private message. But I want you to note down for yourself, which of those traits do you feel like are bad traits that you take on, that you agree with, or that you've previously thought, yeah, that makes sense, so I can't be good at sales because of this? Make a note of it, note it down for yourself, write it down so it's pulled out of your head where you can see it. It makes such a difference and helps to dissipate. It also helps you to know with what's going to be the next best step moving forward. So once you've done that, and if you still need a bit of time and you're watching this back on the replay, just pause the video, and then keep watching after you've written it down for yourself. So here's what you can do instead. And this is a bit of a blanket statement, and I'm obviously sharing this to all of you and for all of you. So here's what you might want to do instead. You might want to learn like how to share your work. Now, this has a two-pronged approach, because I think of the project, the first project all those years ago with that company where we were helping people to share their work. Sometimes people actually don't know how. Some people within the organization will be really great at sharing the work, normally the CEO, the boss, because it's their company and it's their passion. And whilst the people working for them are passionate and will treat business nearly like it's their own business, they might not have the same filter or the same lens. So learning how to share the work is important. Otherwise, you're doing it from a place of your discomfort zone, and then you'll be sharing it in a way that's maybe pushy or forceful, exactly the things that you don't want, because you don't know any other way. And that sounds really simple, but over the years, and even during the pandemic, actually, I delivered a lot of talks, training sessions, both well, mainly online during lockdown, but also offline, even before the pandemic and since, where I was helping people with like the essential steps to go through when it comes to sales. And one of the bits of like feedback that I got and heard so often were people saying, oh my gosh, I never realized it was simply a case of, you know, building relationships or having these quite easy conversations. I always thought it had to be about, you know, being the person with the right words, you know, a bit dodgy or whatever else. So people are always surprised at how easy it can be, but it can only be easy if you learn how to do it. The other thing that I see people do, and I see this more in business owners, where sometimes, and not everybody, but some of us will need to learn who to share it to. I think many of us can resonate with being at a party, a dinner party, networking event, someone else's event, conference, where somebody has approached us, and before we've even had a chance to take a breath in and say hi, they've started almost ramming their business down your throat. This isn't a cool idea, because they might not be the person or the right person to share your work with. And what happens is it actually chips away at your own confidence, because it then tells you, oh, you know, what I'm doing isn't very good, I'm useless and everything else. And it can send you into quite a mental spiral when it comes to offering your products and services. Now, the modern day equivalent of this are people who, for example, here on LinkedIn, and I know it happens on Facebook and Instagram as well, you connect with somebody, you see, you know, oh, they could use this or they could use that, and you go straight into their DMs, into their private messages, and you don't even say, look, you know, I've got this product, and because you said this, it made me think that this might be right for you. You don't give any context. You don't give any why, what's in it for them. You go straight into the, hello, here's my group, here's my website, here's my products, buy my stuff. And the sad thing about that is, you know, and I talk about this a lot, I speak a lot, and, you know, unanimously, a lot of people, you know, agree and feel this as well. It's so sad, because it's likely that the person might actually want to buy your product, your service, your proposition, but because of the way you've just gone in there, they've automatically just gone, no, go away, get out of my face, I don't want to know. And you've lost, you know, an opportunity. And if you're of the mindset of, well, I'll keep doing that, safety in numbers, you'll actually turning off and losing people who could be the right people for you, but you'll never know. So knowing who to share it to and how to share your work, your proposition, your offers is really important, really important. So make sure that you learn how to do it. The other most underutilized thing is practice. So many people just go in, nerves and all, and they just go for it. You can practice it. There are lots of different ways. And if you're wondering what some of those ways are, check out my YouTube channel, because you'll see just on the day of recording this, which happens to be the 15th of November, you'll see that I share some tips on there as well of ways to practice. So I'll leave that there. Have your focus on what you are great at. In some people's businesses, and again, I am very much broad brushing to all of you, because unless somebody says, actually, this is a sort of business that I've got, this is specifically where I struggle, and this is what I'm looking to achieve, it makes it hard for me to make very bespoke free advice out on the internet. But one of the things that I would be an advocate of, focus on what's great. Now, for some of you, this actually means in your business that you're not the person to be trying to sell your products and services. Depends on, the price of your product, what you're trying to do. So if you're selling key rings for like a couple of pounds, euros or dollars, it would not make sense to employ somebody and pay them like £100,000, euros or dollars to sell your products when they're of a different price point. But there's things that you'll be good at and things that you might not be good at, things that you might have to do and things that you actually don't have to do. And what I know, especially about entrepreneurs and business owners, are we can be a little bit control freaky. We want to know how to do it inside and out before we hand it off. We want to learn it before we hand it off. And that doesn't always serve us. And especially for those of you I speak to who are looking to scale and to grow, in a way, you need to keep out of it and put something or people in place to be able to help you to do that. So this is super, super important too. Other things, sorry, I just put down the wrong piece of paper. Other things that you might look at. Build on what's already good. Build on what already works. Have a look and review regularly on what works and what doesn't. Some things stop working and some things continue to work and go really well. So have a look and build on what's good and look to change as quickly as you can what doesn't work. And the other thing that I like, and when I spoke last week, I heard the person before me is the CEO of a company, and I really liked their ethos, because they were saying their team come to them and say, here's what we're seeing and noticing, here are what the problems are, here's what needs fixing, and here's what we need to do. So the whole business, with quite a large business, is guided by the people on the floor, the people who are in front of the clients, advising at board level, here's what we need to do. That is one of the most smart and savvy moves. It doesn't always need to come from you as the CEO. It doesn't always need to come from you as the business owner or the founder. Giving your your staff, your teams free rein to really look at what the problems are and what solutions could be and bring those back to you, you could end up really being able to glean a lot of gold from those insights, other than other things that you need to worry about. So build on what's good, look at what's working, encourage those open conversations about the things that don't work, and like shutting people down, which as a coach I hear a lot of that, and the companies that they work at, because now they feel like they can't go to to HR and get any internal coaching. So they kind of run outside and get private coaching with people just like me and companies like me. So listening to them, having your staff being seen and being heard is actually going to help to raise the bar. Assess, as I say, what works and what doesn't. And be willing to change the things that don't work, be willing to keep the things that do work, and be willing to tweak the things that need tweaking. Do it as quickly as you can if it's not working, so that you can start to, get different results. They say insanity is is the act of doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That's not going to be conducive to selling, making offers, and selling in your business. And for many of you, especially if you're not in charge of the sales, or you don't consider yourself a salesperson, you'll bump into this quite a bit. So I hope that this has been helpful. Do let me know if anything, anything that resonates with you, anything you'd like to share, because one of the things I do notice, even when it's kind of back on the replays and things like that, what you actually find is that your comment that you make often helps somebody else. So if you think, well, Jenny, this is all good, but I want more help, I've got two different ways that you can connect with me. So the first way is I do work with business owners who might need help in this way. And I do have a Be Seen Academy, which at the moment has like 30 plus different modules, like self-study. You go in, you listen to videos, you've got worksheets, and you can learn different things. And one of those things is around like the 10 steps to holding a great sales conversation. They're audio, so you can listen to them as you're taking the dog out for a walk, or out and about, or at your desk, listen to it like radio. But you can get access to those normally for around sort of 29, 30 pounds a month. But if you want access to those for 6 months, until the end of this month, I'm letting you have them just for £99. So if that's something you want, send me a message and I'll send you the link. Other than that, if you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this, I don't know who this woman is on the internet, I'll type in the Be Seen Academy. If you just want monthly access, you get to cancel whenever you want. Now, because I've got my glasses on, not only can I not see properly, but I can't spell, it seems, either. Academy, with lots of M's and N's at the end there. You can actually get access to that just for a month for 29. I think it's 29 and 80 pence, £29.80. Then you can cancel it any time that you want to. Now, if you work for a business or company and you think, yeah, I would actually like some support with this, the rest of the team would like some support with this, then speak to whoever in your business is the person that would hire somebody like me, and ask them to contact me privately. They can either go to my website, jennykovacs.com, and see some of the other like fantastic brands and companies that I've worked with, or they can connect with me over on LinkedIn. I'm over there too, Jenny Kovacs, Visibility Specialist. If they send me a message, we'll schedule a time to talk. I'll ask them some questions, find out what's going on, what's working, what's not working. And if what I do can help them, then I'll gladly offer that help. If they need something else, I'll happily signpost them and point them in a different direction. So those are just two ways that you can do that. Either way, hopefully helpful. We're all in this together. I know we're all in the same storm, but or same boat, but just different storms for some of us. But let's hope that some of the information and nuggets that I've shared today will help you at least think differently about how you offer, sell your services, or how you invite people to work with you or your company. That's it for now. Bye for now.